my earliest musical memories are being with my mum and singing along to Sweet Honey in the Rock, who are an amazing gospel group from America, and being about 3 years old and singing all the words at the concert. And she noticed that I had like musical ability. So she thought it'd be an amazing idea to start piano lessons at 4 years old. So I learned classical piano through my childhood, and then I picked up the cello. My cello is called Reuben. I started playing when I was in secondary school. The music teacher thought it'd be good to give me another challenge and something to kind of stretch me during that time. And I learned classical cello and started to sing just with my friends and taking part in school competitions. So when I left school, I really wanted to be a French teacher and learn Spanish, but my stepdad said, I think you should really continue with music. So I went to study classical composition at Trinity Laban in London, and then at Manhattan School of Music I studied composition again. I would describe my music really as eclectic, orchestral, acoustic soul music. I have my foundation as a classical musician, but there's also reggae elements from my Jamaican heritage, jazz, pop, folk. There's a lot of things that I essentially grew up on and listened to that find their way into my songs. And generally I'm inspired by people I know and their stories, my stories, things that touch me deeply. It could be something I've experienced or something that I've witnessed or learned about. And I think that concept of sharing stories through song is just so powerful, and I love that most about writing. I've really worked with some very special people who have taught me a lot, either about touring, about writing, about recording. I'm featured on a couple of, there's a UK rapper called Akala. He's absolutely amazing, and co-writing with him was a wonderful experience. I toured for about a year with Anushka Shankar, sitarist. That was really, really inspiring, and we co-wrote a song together this year that came out on her last EP. And one of the last collaborations I did with Nitin Sawhney, who's another great British composer and DJ and musician, and wonderful musician, we wrote a song called Movement Variation 2 from an album of his coming called Immigrants. And it kind of expresses the sentiment at the moment in terms of Black lives and just anyone really who feels that their rights are being infringed upon because of who they are. And that's been a really powerful collaboration. In the beginning, I sort of tended to shy away from love songs directly, but a lot of the music itself is very emotional and seems to have that connection with the audience of tapping into sensitive subjects. One of the earliest songs I wrote was a piece called Ain't I a Woman, which was actually a speech given in 1851 by Sojourner Truth, who was born into slavery in the United States in 1797. And taking those words and creating a piece of history, like musical history, was one of the first very bold statements I made in that way. And I love that. It's like walking with elements of history and sharing that with the audience. But now I feel quite free to sing about love and feelings and stories historically, as well as stories that have happened to myself and people I love. So it's a mixture, but my interest really is in connecting with the audience and the listeners. I would say record as much of your creativity as you can, just so that you can see how you've progressed and how you're growing and evolving as an artist. Because what can happen is you perform songs, and if you never record them, you can lose interest in them and they sort of disappear. So record as much as you can, collaborate with other people as often as you can. I think that's the biggest growth really, is working with other artists, playing with lots and lots of different types of musicians in different genres, and not being afraid to share. Just write what you feel and don't be afraid to share it. Yeah, I'm planning to really serenade the audience with a selection of songs of mine and songs that I love from other great artists that I think are relevant in this time, and just sort of paint a picture of who I am, where I've come from, and what I want the audience to know about me, and ultimately for us to just connect and have a really special moment. I'm so excited about tomorrow.
Thank you, sweethearts.